Well, hello, good morning, everybody. This is Jasmine Gonzalez. Welcome to my channel. Today is Friday, October 22nd, 2021. Yes, tomorrow, wrestling in Ludlow, Massachusetts. Yay! Yeah, I'm excited about the wrestling show. Um, anyway, heading to my way to work today. Oh, that didn't sound right. I might have to check the brakes or my suspension. Money I have to spend fixing the car. Cars are I'm going to say this. Cars are a big maintenance expense. Like, if you don't have a good job, it can become very tough to keep on fixing the car. Just to keep it going. And unfortunately, like I've said in other videos, in here where I live, you need to have a car. Um, there's buses that one can take, but they're not as reliable as having your own car. And so having a car is needed. And it's unfortunate, honestly, because if there were a better public transportation system, I think I would not have the need to take my car every time. But I can't afford that. Tonight, I play D&D again. I've been playing D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, for those that don't know. And for those that don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is, Dungeons and Dragons is a role-playing game where you play a character that you create, and you go into fantasy adventures, pretty much. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since I was in college, back in, which is 1993. Yeah. And I've enjoyed playing Dungeons and Dragons. Mostly I have played fighters, and that was my staple, playing fighters back in when it was Dungeons and Dragons. Actually, when it was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, that's what that was a game system that I started playing. Do I have a book called the Dungeons and Dragons Encyclopedia, which I still have? It's that was the first version of Dungeons and Dragons, but in my school they played Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, which the difference was like the hit dice, the classes, and also the fact that you could choose a race for the classes. So it wasn't like in Dungeons and Dragons the Encyclopedia, which was if you ever played Tower of Mistara, what was it? Oh, Tower of Doom. Dungeons and Dragons Tower of Doom. The dwarf and the elf were a character class, so there were race classes. But in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, you could choose a race and then choose a class, and that was more enjoyable than just having to choose a race class if you want to play a dwarf and you were stuck with the options. So yeah, and then I got to play 3.0 back in Dungeons and Dragons, when Dungeons and Dragons was bought by Wizards of the Coast. Sorry. And then 3.5, and then 4.0. I got to play 4.0. Now I'm playing 5th edition, 5th set, and I like 5th set. And I've been playing, instead of focusing on playing fighters, I've been playing like character class that I haven't gotten the chance to play. Before the pandemic, I was playing a rogue swashbuckler, and now I'm playing a druid, part of the Circle of Fire. So it's a druid. It's basically a druid that likes to burn things. It's quite interesting. But yeah, I've been playing online, and it's been fun so far. So yeah, I'm looking forward to my D&D session tonight, and then, like I said, tomorrow wrestling, and yeah, back to my depression again. I've been having weird dreams about people dying. I had yesterday I had a dream that I saw a person, and the person looked almost like my dad, and told me to follow him to a building, and that's when I woke up, but I didn't know what the building was, and it felt like the building was part of my university campus in Puerto Rico, but I mean, if the dream is a dream like that, like I get it because I went to the same college that my dad and my mom went to back in when they were younger. But yeah, those brakes don't sound right. And I think that brake. We'll have to check on that because inspection is coming up in November, so I need the car to pass inspection at least one more year. Jeez. And I know I replaced this brake pads myself, but like I had to do a little bit of work because they didn't fit perfectly, so I had to like grind them around to make them fit. So I don't know what is causing that, honestly. It could be rust. I don't know. I'll have to check on that. Anyway, so I've been having weird dreams, and then depression is like the weather is getting like darker, so I begin to feel like this is going to be a tough year, and so I'm a little bit concerned about that. But at the same time, it's like it is what it is. But still, like it's one of those things that I want to be careful. And watch the symptoms, because it can get very down on me. And like most of my depression, I feel like comes from like being able to get what I want, certain things that I wanted to achieve in life. Like there are certain other things that I've been able to do with life that I wanted to do, but there are other things that I haven't been able to do because of just not being able to get where I wanted to be. Like I've been trying to get back into working as an engineer, and it's been very, very difficult. And I know like the pandemic is still going on and all that kind of stuff, but like it has been very difficult for me to even get invited to job interviews. And even if I get invited to interviews, there's no guarantee that I get the job, and it's unfortunate because it's like I don't want to get stuck working in retail. Retail is more for survival, but like I'm missing out that good part of like being able to put what I went to school for and to use the skills that I learned in school. And here I'm better wage than what I'm earning too, so it's been very difficult. I cannot afford going to an internship because one, internships are for people that are in school, and two, some internships don't pay. And I'm a grown adult. I cannot take a job that will not pay me any money because I have expenses that I have to pay. I don't, like I said, I don't want to get stuck in working in retail. Like I want to do something different, and dealing with that level of frustration where I've been applying to jobs and I've been doing my part, but it's just been frustrating. And I just don't know what else I could do in that end. At the same time, I feel happy with other things that I have done with my life. Like I got a stable housing right now. I've been doing wrestling, and wrestling is going really well. I like wrestling. I also been working on like other projects that I like trying to learn other things like painting and teaching myself how to draw. So I don't do a lot of drawing, but I like drawing and painting, and I haven't played music in a while though, and I like playing music. So, but I haven't gotten too much time to play with my musical instruments at home. So that's something that I feel like I need to start doing again, And I do like music. It's sad also because I used to go to karaoke before the pandemic, and now I have decided that I'm still not going to get into the bar yet. I'm going to go to bars and start singing karaoke. Yeah, I don't feel like complete comfortable. I'm going to wait a little bit longer before I start going to sing karaoke again. But I do like singing karaoke. I enjoy it. It's fun. But I haven't done that in a while, and it's quite sad, honestly. So Yeah, definitely those are things that I'm thinking, and like I said, my biggest frustration is the work that I would like to be doing for day for my day job, and and my job is like it's retail, and there are pros and cons. Anybody that works retail know how it is, but it's it's also a job that doesn't pay a lot of money, and honestly, like I don't know, like I just don't want to get stuck in retail. That's all. It's just my point of view. And as for engineering goes, like my background as engineering has been mostly in environmental engineering, and I have worked for New York State in 2000 up until 2009 before the state decided to downsize the workforce. But I work as an environmental engineer. It's mostly regulatory, pretty much. You just when you work for the state, it's like making sure that companies and people are in compliance with what the regulation said. But I have always mostly the idea of going into consulting, which was something that I wanted to do after I finished my degree, going into consulting. Because consulting is like you could pretty much end up running your own business, and getting paid to provide solutions to problems that municipalities or like private industry faces, But I never got the chance to get into consulting, and I've been trying to get into consulting, and still I haven't been able to find anything. And it's sad because I used to have my professional engineer's license in Puerto Rico, and I couldn't pay the money, like everything to keep a license, have money, And in Puerto Rico, it's like $300, and then you have to take education that has to be approved by the school in an organization in Puerto Rico. So it was very difficult to keep the license, especially when I'm living in New York. So I don't have the license in Puerto Rico, but I also don't have the license here in New York State. I only have what they call the engineering training or intern engineer, because my education and my certificate was from out of state, but they gave me the intern engineer certificate, which is a engineering training certificate, pretty much. So, but that is nothing with that. You cannot do anything. You cannot sign papers. You cannot stamp drawing and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't do much for me, honestly. So that's my biggest frustration. It's like not being able to get the job that I wanted to be doing, that I would have preferred to be doing. So I've been trying to look into other areas of things that I could do. I do like wrestling, and I have done a lot of wrestling, and I enjoy my wrestling career a lot. I don't think at my age I'm going to end up going big time to AEW or WWE. That's not going to happen. I'm aware of that. Though, I mean, you never know if AEW. If I were to go to AEW, like I would love just only to do an AEW Dark episode, that would be totally fine by me, But I don't think I will be able to go to AEW full time, unless it's like to provide ideas for storylines or things like that. But I mean, I don't think people know very well why I'm in the wrestling business. So it's just I don't think that's going to happen at all. If it happens, good. If it doesn't, good too, Same with WWE. I don't think WWE is ever WWE, I don't think so. That's once I go to help, once I go to help in other areas, like trainer or something like that, And it's something that somebody told me, my best friend told me that maybe I could become a great wrestling trainer, And I mean, I know a little bit of chain, all that kind of stuff. I think I could train, but I just don't like to have the pressure of training people. But I mean, maybe I could be a trainer assistant or something like that, But I don't know. I mean, it's just I feel like I may not be ready because I don't know, not having the reputation, not being known by people, but I do have skills. I know I'm good at wrestling, and I have worked as a fight choreographer. I can teach actors to fight on stage for theatrical productions, but like I don't know. I mean, something to consider. I think I will enjoy it though if I get to do that, but I don't know how can I make that happen. Honestly. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, but those are things that I've been considering about life. I've thought about moving to another place. I've been thinking about going to Puerto Rico too. I mean, the thing with Walmart is like I could be moving anywhere, and there will still be a Walmart where I could work. Not necessarily with engineering. Anyway, but that's all I got. My biggest frustration just like finding the job that I want, and it's frustrating. It's been many years dealing with the same frustration, because I cannot find where I want to go, and it's been dragging me down in terms of the levels of frustration that I experience, and depression. Because like I wish I could be doing that, but I'm not doing that, and it's like I have to go into like these jobs that I feel don't provide me with the experience that I need to be able to get into the jobs that I wish I could be doing, And it's just frustrating. Like just a few weeks ago, I went to an interview with a company called BioDevelopment. They're a new manufacturing company for medicines, and look, I have skills that I could be that can be used by that company, because my background is in chemical engineering, But I went to interview and I applied for a quality technician position one, and I think my education is aligned with that position. I could be, if I would have gotten the position, I think I would be successful in that position, but didn't got hired. I didn't got even considered for the position, and didn't got an offer. And it's frustrating because like I know that I could be successful in that position, and it would have been great to get out of the job at Walmart into that, But because I haven't been working in the chemistry field, I've just been working in retail and doing other things that are not even related to chemistry, so they passed me by, And it sucks. It totally, completely sucks that I cannot get where I want to be. And then I get offered like positions like, oh, would you like to work in manufacturing for like $13.50 an hour? I'm like, no. $13.50 an hour is an insult. $12.50 an hour is also an insult. Like the reason that I have stuck with Walmart is because I get paid $17 an hour, and even then, like I'm not living a job that will pretty much like, even if it's something that I may like and I may enjoy, they pay less. It makes no sense to live a job where I have like health insurance and benefits. It's not the same amount of money. I'm going to be struggling in the other job. So yeah. But at the same time, it's like, why would I go into a manufacturing? Got skills in engineering. I want to get back into engineering, Wish I could go back to school and finish something else, but like that is expensive too. It's expensive. Like I was going to school for automotive management because I like that, but that's expensive, and it costs money to go to school. And then if I go to school, that means that I have less time that I can be at work, which means that my income goes down because I cannot work the hours that I've been working. And those past few weeks I've been working for like 40 hours every week, so it's not bad. But yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on with my life, and I wish it was easier to get where I want to be, and it's just frustrating to an extent, And I don't know if it's because of my accent, because I know my accent is thick, and when I go to an interview, people can be, even though people are not supposed to be racist, they could be biased because, oh, this person has an accent, so if they don't speak English perfectly, there must be something else or something wrong with them. Maybe they are not as smart as they are. And that is not true, you know. I know Spanish, I know English. My main language is Spanish, not English. So, but still have my. That doesn't mean that I don't have my educational level. You know, I still have my education level, and I'm still smart. You know, so it's the interviewer bias that they may have. You know, I also don't know if it's because of my gender presentation too at interviews too. That could also be the case. You know, and the things like interviews are so subjective. They are not necessarily objective, you know. People can be subjective. Oh, I don't like this person for whatever reason, and you don't get the job, you know. So things like that, you know. And in my job history too, because I've been jumping from job to job. People are, oh my gosh, this person's going to start jumping from job to job. If they only understood that the reason that I jump from job to job is because I've been trying to find a job with a stable income that could give me enough money to be able to provide for myself and not have to struggle financially with my living expenses, because New York City is an expensive state. Maybe I didn't have to jump from job to job, but like when you're paying, you're getting paid the bare minimum and you can barely afford to even pay rent. That's a problem. I'm sorry, I'm not going to stay with a company if I cannot afford paying my rent. It's frustrating. I'm going to move out. I'm going to try something else, you know, something that pays more. So yeah, and like I said, right now I'm like stable because Walmart is providing me enough money, and I can't believe that I'm saying that Walmart is providing me enough money, but that is the key. That is of what's happening. Walmart is giving me enough income for me to be able to afford my expenses living here in New York, in New York, you know, and that's why I've stayed with Walmart so long. Otherwise, I would have quit if I had gotten a better job offer. But because the other jobs that I've been applying to, they don't offer me as much as Walmart. It's like, yeah, no, sorry. So yeah, and even though the other jobs may be more in line with what I've been wanting to get, the fact is that to me, not be able to afford my living expenses, that to me is important. Why would I work in a job that, oh yeah, it's something that I've been wanted to work with, but I'm struggling financially to pay my bills, my expenses, and there's no guarantee that the other company eventually will hike my wage to the amount of money that I'm getting now at Walmart, you know. So that's the other risk that I have to consider, you know. So I definitely don't plan to leave Walmart until I get a job that pays me the same or more, and most likely the more, and if it's something that I really like, you know. But to get offered like so little and shitty shifts too, you know, like it's like, no, not interested. And hence that's what we have, the work shortage pretty much, because that also affects that, you know. Maybe if I was unemployed, I would have a different mindset. But in all honesty, like, it's just disgusting when companies want to pay so little money to employees, and you have to struggle financially just to pay the basic needs that everybody should be able to pay, you know, with a job. And actually, also the other things like being single, like it's a bit more difficult when you are single and you have to pay so many expenses when you're around. Like seriously, if your wage is not high enough, like it's a hassle, it's tough to make it, you know. Like I'm not going to lie, like as a single person, like rent, like the cost of an apartment here in New York City for a single person, if I were to go live on my own, that's about $700. That's a good chunk of my paycheck, you know, my take-home pay after taxes, you know. And then like when you add transportation and all the other stuff, like the money can be gone like that. It's insane. It's insane. And honestly, I'm glad that New York State has like high minimum wage, but like other places they don't pay as much as New York State pays, and it's like I question like how can people survive with a minimum wage of 7.50? That is impossible in my opinion. And I remember like a few years ago I was like working as a cashier at Home Depot, and my take home pay was like 8.50 an hour, and I was working part time, and oh my gosh, that was like I was scraping by pretty much. And I was on food stamp too because like what I was getting at Home Depot wasn't enough to afford anything, and it was frustrating. It's like, my gosh! But then the companies were like, "Oh, we're a great company, yada yada." And it's like, no, no, you are not. Um, and I guess all the years working before in retail, now working back in retail, so it's just getting to me, and I'm just getting mentally exhausted working in retail. Honestly, like it's anyway. That's all I got. Peace out, everybody. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Get vaccinated. I already got vaccinated, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, bye.